Remember this? I remember. Welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Cyclemaster engine. I've been working on this for quite a while and it's been a long time since the last video, and understandably a lot of you has asked about it. The thing is, I found an issue in the previous video that I showed you. A very big issue. The old barrel, the piston ring is inside of there, and you can see how it's just very, very worn. There's a big edge up here, and the piston ring is not even in contact with the bore all the way around. It's very worn. So I tried to see if I could find another one of these. If not, I would have to get an oversized piston and bore this up a bit. But I was lucky. I got sent this one from a viewer, which seems to be all right. This is not perfect either, but this is a rare old moped engine. And this one got a tiny crack right there. But I do not think it will matter because it's not really in a place that is under any kind of pressure. It's just to locate the barrel in there. So I think it will be all right. And the and it's very nice inside. There's no wear on it. There is no big damage on it. It's not perfect, but it will give it enough compression to run for sure. And it even comes with a new piston. I actually bought a set of rings, so I'm gonna put in new rings for this. Now I'm gonna give it a quick hone and put on new rings, and then I can fit this to the engine. And then it's actually starting to look like a moped engine again. Just some cross hatching in there. Don't know how well it picks up, but I think it looks pretty decent. I'm not going to go further because I will just remove material, which I don't want to do. So this should be good enough. So now what I want to do is to make a gasket for the bottom part of the cylinder. So this means that I can take this engine now and remove this, and then I can install the piston, which is this one. But firstly I will remove the old rings and install some new ones. I will be very careful removing the old ones in case the new ones is not the correct ones. That's the thing when working on old stuff like this. There is a big possibility that the parts is not the correct ones because of change between years and so on. There we go, it's off. A big thanks to the guy who sent me these. You know who you are, it's very great. Piston rings, hopefully the correct ones. Cyclemaster piston rings. Fits the Barini also, good to know. So I'm checking the ring gap, and it's a bit difficult on this because of the locating dowel in there. But I've just inserted the piston in, and you can see there's movement from side to side, so I'm sure that the gap is at least big enough. So I'm not worried about that being too little at least. So that's nice. I'm just going to do the same to the other ring and then keep them orientated the same way. So I'm going to remove this again. It's amazing how easy it is to snap a piston ring, considering the speed and the power that the rings will produce when running. It's interesting. So now I'm going to put this one onto the lower part of it. There's probably some clever way of actually measuring this, but I do not have the correct equipment for doing that. I can do it with a feeler gauge to just measure the ring gap, but because of this dowel in there, I don't think it will matter much. But I'm gonna insert this into the bottom end once again. And then just push it up a little bit. until it's completely in, like that. And as you can see, there's a lot of movement, so the gap is quite large. So I'm not worried about it being too small and pinching. I'm more worried that the compression won't be completely wonderful, but I cannot make the ring larger than this. Only smaller. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna loop up this con rod and then push this one in. There we go. And then I can install the pin bolts. And I cleaned the cylinder and I'm now ready to install it. I'm going to take gloves off because I like to do this part of it without gloves because it makes it easier to feel if there's any impurities in there, because it is a bit of a dirty workspace, mine. But it is what it is. But I'm going to give it some running in oil. Two-stroke oil is just as good, but I like to use this. Some say it's not a good idea. I think it is. So yeah, I'm going to make sure that the rings are aligned. Thin oil for this one. There we go. I have a feeling it's a good idea to loosen up these before I push it in, just to not force it too much. There we go. These are the tiniest, tiny taps with a plastic or rubber hammer, just to slide it in there. I can cut the excessive gasket off. Next up, I'm going to install the cylinder head, and I'm going to apply some sealant. And I don't really know which one I should use, but I have one that I trust. According to the manual, it needs no head gasket, but sealant is needed. So I'm just going to apply a bit of that. There we go. There we go. Cylinder head is on. And just to avoid anything falling into the engine, I'm going to put my piston stop in there. That way I can also tighten up the crankshaft bolt when I get to that. That's done. And then I can flip it around and start to install the clutch. No, wait, the clutch is on the other side. Did I already install the clutch? Probably did then. Okay, now I'm a bit puzzled. I have to watch my own videos. It's been too long since I did this. Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. It's time to try to reassemble the engine on the Cyclemaster, the Rabeneick. Yep, the clutch is in. I just have a spare one. Anyway, what's next then? The next step is the timing or stator plate, I think it's called. And again, I have a couple of those. I'm going to use this because it looks cleanest. I'm going to clean it up a bit though, and then install it, and I need to put on a new wire. So I will do that. There we go, that looks better. I'm not sure it picks up, but there is a spark. It's not very bright, but it's there. I think the light outside is making it a weak looking one, but maybe it's all right. Now I want to do something about the carb. It has been soaking for a while and it's cleaned up all right, on the outside at least. But I need to take it apart so that I can make sure that everything works and it's clean. It's an interesting small carburetor, this. This is an interesting design. I'm not used to that. And it's one day later. The components has been soaking and I'm ready to start rebuilding the carburetor. I'm giving everything a bit of loop because it's so dry after the cleaning, just to avoid stuff getting stuck in there and so on. So this is supposed to go something like this, then this needle through. But the needle needs to be inside of this. It's a very funky setup, this, gotta say. Like this, I guess. Nope, that can't be right. It's the other way around. Like this, and then this. Nope. Yeah, like this. All right, that makes sense. And this goes through this and into the float. Like this. And then this one goes on to this one, something like this. Like this, and then the needle valve is down in here. So when this is pulled up by the fuel, it will lock it. It's a bit of the reverse. It's a bit reverse of what I'm used to seeing. I'm gonna give it some sealer around this edge. Oh, that was a bit much. I really don't want this stuff into the carb. I just wanted to seal it up. Like that. I think that will do. Like this. I think that was the orientation. And then the needle. Like that. I need to change the cable inside of this. That's the reason why I cut it, because then I can test it and then change the cable a little bit later. I'm missing the plastic bushing for this, so I'm just going to use some tape for now. So this will be good enough for now. And what I want to do now is to try to run it. But I still need to fill in some oil for the clutch. It's not going to be under any kind of big pressure, but just so that I don't forget it. I'm just going to do it now. like so. I have pre-mixed some petrol that I'm going to put into the carb and then try to start it up. It will be a bit loud because there's no exhaust on, and hopefully it will fire. I got my drill ready to go, and I can spin that like this. Yeah, that's nice. And then I've pre-mixed some fuel. Quite heavy mix just to get it started. And then I'm just gonna fill the float, hopefully, if the carb is working. There we go. Whey! That was pretty close. It's working. Let's give it another go from another angle. More fuel in. I think I'm gonna end this video here. It is now almost running. It can start at least. I need to fit all the gubbins and put it on the wheel to get it to sit right and all that. I still need to fit the exhaust and all that, and find a bike that this will fit. But it is running. Thank you for watching. This has been quite the saga already, and it's not finished yet. But now I have an engine that can start, and I think it sounds pretty healthy at first startup. Of course, it will sound better with the exhaust fitted. But this is nice. Thank you for watching. Don't forget you can support me on Patreon. There's a link down below. And see you in the next one. One more time.